Welcome everyone to episode number 47. We're on 47. How exciting. I love when my out of town friends come and visit me at the bunker. It's the best. No one has ever visited me ever until I got this studio and got this podcast. So this is my good friend, Patrick McBride from the McBride Agency. Decide McBride. It's the best, honestly. Thank you so much for coming and for being with me today. I appreciate it. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, all that fun stuff.
Well, I'm actually here because of the podcast studio. I have no other agenda in Florida at all.
Right.
I just want to be here.
Yeah.
So the Bunker Talk is high on my YouTube watch list.
Okay. Well, so, you're the one.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support.
There are multiple views. I might have multiple accounts, but I got you. I'm supporting you from afar.
Thank you.
So my name is Patrick McBride. I own an insurance agency in North Central Illinois. And we do all things insurance except health insurance because
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. People that do what we do don't do health insurance,
No.
and health insurance doesn't do what we do.
They don't do what we do.
No.
Right.
It is a different brain.
It is, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
They can keep it.
Yeah. You can have all of it.
Yeah.
I will refer it all to you.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So we've been in business for 38 months now as an independent agency. And I spent 5+ years on my own under a big national brand for a long time and made the shift just about 3 years ago. And I think we're finally at a point where I can say we're going to make it.
Yeah. I love that you said that because, it took you almost 3-4 years to feel that way. So that there's your lesson number 1 of this episode. It's okay to feel like you're failing always.
Yeah.
Because you're not. It just feels that way.
Listen, in the last hour, I just got my P&L, my closeout from last month from our bookkeeper, and I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm like, how much did we make last month? And sometimes you don't realize the success or the strides that you're making until you actually step back and look at where actually what's going on in your business, and not just the day-to-day, not just the emails, not just the phone calls or the staff or the hiring and the firing. And you actually look at what you've been able to do. Our gross rev was great. Our expenses were good. Like we had a really profitable month. I'm like, I could take 12 Mays in a year and I wouldn't need a podcast. Yeah. Listen, I would just be the podcast guest of podcast guests. I'd travel around the world and talk on podcasts.
Around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's the lesson from The Gap and the Gain, right?
Yeah.
Reflect, instead of measuring yourself against the goals that we're taught to take the goals out of thin air, right?
Yeah.
Like make it this big, hairy, audacious goal that is hard to achieve. So when you set the goal that you're stretching yourself, you're aware of that. And then when you measure yourself up against that goal and you don't get it, you're disappointed in yourself. So measure backwards.
Listen, so we own a business, or I own a business. And my wife and I started years ago. So I've been in insurance for about 10 years. I spent 2 years under mentorship under an agency owner who was a captive brand and the big national brand on the door. I spent 2 years under him knowing I was going to open my own office. And when I did, I had no idea what I was doing. And all I wanted to do was be good at it. And my opinion of good is subjective. My opinion of good is different than the people I got hired with. It's different than the people that were already in the workforce and completely different than the people that came after me. And as we started going, I thought I could do it all on my own. I mean, we got 6 weeks into this and district management's asking me for documents and paperwork. And I looked at them like, what do you mean documents and paperwork? You told me to sell insurance. So I did. They're like, well, where's all these documents? I'm like, probably in that file on my desk over there. Are they signed? Maybe.
Did somebody tell me to?
Yeah. I'm not going to say no because that's probably the wrong answer.
Right.
But I'm not going to lie
they're
to
signed.
you. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be back on Friday and I'll teach you how to do this. And I got home that night and quite literally my wife looks at me and she goes, hey, I need you home probably about 15, 20 hours more a week. Because, you're there at 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and you're slaving all day trying to do the things and everything you have to do. It's me. And no kidding, like an 850 square foot office, no walls, no doors, like just the door in, the door out. That was it. 850 square feet with me and a standing desk. And I tell her, she's like, you have to be home 15 to 20 more hours a week. I'm like, great. You got a part-time job. You start on Friday. We're going to teach you how to do paperwork. And from there, we just kind of grew. But doing a good job was subjective on what we wanted. And all I knew is I wanted to be better. And I started comparing myself around agents who I felt like were doing really good. And that perspective has shifted over the last 7, 8, 9 years from the time I first started with that big national brand, opened my own office. That carrier got bought by another. That went poorly. We said, listen, if I'm going to go bankrupt, we're going to do it on our own.
It's going to be on our own terms.
Right. Like I'll put my name on the door and go bankrupt. That sounds awesome. But I'm never letting somebody else tell me how to do this. And ultimately that's kind of what we started when we did the McBride Agency was, it's why we put our name on the door, from the biggest advocate in the world to not put your name on a door.
But it works.
It does.
Decide McBride.
Listen, we're killing the
good.
logo of the
It's
hashtag
good.
game. Yeah.
It is.
So that was a big thing for us is how do we understand what we actually want? And when we go from, I want to sell, man, I remember my first 6 months and all I wanted to do is sell $14,000 worth of insurance in a month, like annualized premium, right? Like I think I closed, we came close to that almost every month. And I felt like I was King Kong, like Denzel Washington from Training Day. Like King Kong got nothing on me. Like I had everything in the world was going the right way. And now my team does that in a day on a regular basis. Good is subjective. And I think that's, where do we get our good? And sometimes it's the crowd we sit around and the people we sit at the table with and the folks we have dinner with and the conversations you and I have offline, right? When we talk about what we want to do and where we want to go. And subjective is so hard to measure, but you have to look back. Mm-hmm. You have to look at, I started this and I thought $14,000 was going to light the world on fire. Right. I was going to be a billionaire by the time I was 45. I'm not yet. I'm not 45 yet either. So we got
12 Mays.
Yeah. Give me 12 Mays and I'll be almost millionaire. Yeah. So it's a good lesson it's a really healthy lesson in yourself to understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And sometimes where you're going might just be the goal, but you might not ever get there. And you've got to be okay with that, right? Content, but dissatisfied, right? I'm dissatisfied with where I'm at.
And it can change too.
Yeah.
It can change that idea of where you're going when you start something and the process changes you, right? And as long as you don't quit, you just align or adjust with the new vision. And there's things outside, there's outside forces too that might change goals or paths, right? Because like, for example, I mean, I've been in this industry for over 20 years and I've opened we opened the bunker. It's coming up on 6 years, but like, I mean, I didn't expect the pandemic to come in, 6 months after I opened. Oh, man. I didn't expect to ever use a system like ChatGPT like I do, right? So you just if you know it's for you and you've got the grit to do it, but don't be afraid of adjustment along the way.
I think that's probably. I spent some time in the military, and one of the things, so in the Marine Corps, we have a phrase called Semper Fidelis. It's always faithful. So we had a play on those words called Semper Gumby, and it was always flexible. Mm. So you have to, and it just always a joke, right? Because the plan was this and that it would change, and no one would tell you until it's time to do it. And we would like begrudgingly, like, and sarcastically, Semper Gumby, right? And eyes rolled as we would do. And now, like, I think that mentality of, it's okay to be flexible. It's okay to make a plan and that plan not be executed. It's okay to change the plan because you understand that you need to do something different. Mm. Think when the GPS, we're driving from A to B and we didn't know the road was closed. We're down the road and now we have to turn left. And the GPS still says, make a legal U-turn, right? The GPS thinks you need to go this direction. Eventually, when you take that left long enough, the car is going to actually recalculate and get you where you need to go. Mm-hmm. Keep your eyes on the ultimate goal, whatever that goal is. Mm-hmm. This subjective good or great, or if it's a revenue, is it a lifestyle? Is it a happy, healthy kid? Mm-hmm. Is it a healthy marriage? Is it keeping a healthy marriage or getting one? They're subjective. Mm-hmm. And what's happy? What's healthy? Right?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. First question for you. What has been the hardest thing of being in business for you? What do you think is the hardest or the most challenging thing for you?
Can I say people?
Yeah.
Yeah, people. 100%.
Managing them or finding them or what?
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's short answer. Next.
Yeah.
The first person was easy, right? She lived in my home. It was really easy to have someone with that buy-in, and I was spoiled. And I think that it took me a really long time to understand that, number one, no one else is going to have the buy-in we have. No one else is going to have that sense of ownership in the outcome of the business. And that was difficult to translate into real work when I had to start paying someone real money and they're doing less work and more time, mm-hmm. and it's costing me something. Sometimes you just want to, kick a fat kid down the stairs, right? Maybe you edit that part out. I don't know. Maybe you don't. I just look like a jerk who kicks kids downstairs. It was a difficult transition for me to see. And then when you find those people and you get them coached and you get them trained, and sometimes they transition through no fault of your own.
Right.
Sometimes it's good transition. Sometimes it's bad. And finding that next replacement has been difficult. And when we have found, I'm terrible at interviewing and hiring. I'm great at creating a culture where people will come to us. And our last 3 hires have been people who've sought us out. And every single one of them has been incredible. The people I said, okay, we need to fill a role. We've got to hire for this role. Let's do some interviews. I'm bad at it.
Why? Why do you what do you think it is that you're lacking, or that you're bad at?
I think I trust people at their word a little too much. So I'm definitely a verbal communicator. I understand you're nonverbal, but I will believe you. And I'm going to take you for what you say until you prove me wrong.
Got it.
Right. And
which is a great quality, but for business, it's tough.
It is tough.
It costs you a lot of money.
It does. Yeah. And I'm less susceptible to that today, but I'm still the same person I was.
Right.
I can learn from those mistakes. My best hiring decisions have not been mine. They have been the other people, or even when I trusted Misty with some roles, they have been the people that have lasted the longest. Our current longest tenured employee is someone I didn't really want to hire. And it was difficult. We had a relationship with her outside of the office, a non-professional relationship, and she'd been a family friend, and I was super hesitant because we kind of butt heads. And I don't think you can do this, and I don't think you can listen to me because you don't even like me when you're in my home sometimes, or listen here. How are we gonna be able to interact in a professional way when we're actually paying you? Like, is this going to be something that's difficult? And we went through a lot of trials and, kind of getting to where we are, but we have really honest and raw conversations. And I think really the ultimate goal was, it wasn't my decision. I think I had to say yes or no, but I trusted my wife on that one. I trusted Misty, and she helped us get to that place. And now the rest of the team has better intuition than I do, but we've been able to build the culture where people are being referred to us, and we're finding that talent on our side. And I'll find a role for the right person. Not necessarily, I need to go hire this place, but let me go find this.
Right.
You are great at what you do. Let me hire you, and I'll let you be great at what you do.
I don't know if it was somebody that I had in this chair or I heard that somewhere too, where it's like, if you find a good person, make a role for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to your point, that's probably why you're having more success that way, because you're not stuffing the wrong person in a role that you have pre-built.
Yeah. We're letting people function in a way that they're naturally gifted to function in. We're just giving them the tools to be successful and monetize that skill for themselves and for us, right? Owning a business it is as much for us as it is for the people that work with us. And it has to be. If it's not, they're not going to stay. So being able to build that culture has been important for me. And, ultimately it kind of works out pretty well. Yeah. So far it has. Yeah. We're doing okay.
We've established people's the hardest part. It's probably for most of us, right? Established people, what is your best advice for someone just starting with the team and they don't know how to hold people accountable? What do you think is a good place to start?
If they don't know how to hold people accountable, you're going to have to get comfortable with uncomfortable conversations. Because if you can't hold people accountable, they will do what they want, not what you want. And the end of the day, my job as a boss, as a leader, as the agency owner right now, until we find operations and I can be just vision, because if you've ever had Traction, right, I'm the visionary. I don't have an implementer yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Implement. Yeah.
I don't have that person yet. And I could either hire that person now or hire the producer that's coming on board the end of the month. Right. We chose the producer. They'll help us.
You can also outsource the integrator, the implementer. I have a friend doing it right now.
Okay. And that's probably something we need to look at in the next 6 to 12 months. We have to find that implementer, one, to keep me in check, because I love chaos and change. But if you've ever read The One Thing, you've got to focus on one thing. And while we have so much staff coming on and we have so much growth going on, we can't change anything right now. And I have to be reminded of that, even to myself. But if you can't have that implementer and you have to be that person, the two things we have to do, and a good friend of ours, Eric Roberts, is coined this for me in my head. And shout out to E-Rob if he's listening. You have to be able to set expectations and hold people accountable. It's expectations and accountability. That's it. That's all our job is. We can't do the work for them. We can't do the education for them. We can't clock in on time. We can't have the good attitude. We can't respond to customers for them. Well, I mean, we can,
But then we're just doing it ourselves.
So why are we, right.
Why are we paying them?
Right. So not only am I more expensive to do that work, I am, it's taking away from the business and other aspects for me to do this job versus you to do that job, no matter how much I pay you. If I'm not able to set expectations and hold you accountable, then we're just doomed to fail. And I'm just going to go through this cycle. And in a real vulnerable moment, I think one of my biggest fears as a business owner is that my success will be littered with the bodies of the people that I have not served well coming on our team. There are people that I've hired that I didn't train well that ultimately weren't a good fit over time because I didn't train them well. And we had to terminate the relationship. And I can see that now. At the time I didn't.
Right.
But my success in my name and my reputation and the business that we're building, I am dreadfully fearful. That's one of the things that keeps me awake at night. If I really let my mind get quiet, is that my success will be littered with these bodies of the reputation of the people that I didn't do right or do well. And that's hard.
How do you hold people accountable without micromanaging?
Really defined KPIs for us. And I say that we're not granular to the level of how much time did you spend on the phone or we do ask questions like how many phone calls. Ultimately, we have a goal in an agency, and our agency goal right now is growth. Mm-hmm. We're 38 months in. We're growing at what I would consider a pretty good pace. There are some out there that are probably doing it better. There's some doing it worse, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Worse is probably the wrong answer there. They're not doing it at the same pace we are. If we don't have an overarching goal and a vision for the office, then expectations don't matter, because if expectations don't match your vision, then it doesn't matter, right? It's like getting on a plane and flying to Florida. I have to go to the hotel because we live way too far away from an airport. Right. We have to go to the hotel. We stay the night. We park our car there over the week that we're gone. We have to get there through the Uber. We have to get through security. There are things we have to do that get us to the goal. And ultimately, if we can't cast that vision and understand the process of what's going on, none of it works. And ultimately, without being micromanaging, we do very short check-ins. I have one-on-ones monthly with every member of the team, and they're short, 15, 20 minutes. We have team member meetings for different sides of our business once a week. They're about 45 minutes. We do an all-hands meeting once a week. So no matter what, I'm in 3 meetings a week with part or all of our team. Our sales team's on Monday because we want to look at things, and it's early. Mm-hmm. And we break that up between personal lines and commercial lines teams. And then we do our service team on Tuesday. That gets you through the weekend, right? Mondays are chaos. Get through the chaos. Organize your week. Tuesdays, we meet in the afternoons. Understand what your struggles are. How do we fix things for the week? And then on Fridays, we kind of recap how everything went. And everyone's a part of that. And ultimately, we do the human connection. How are you? How are we feeling? What's going on? What are the big issues this week? What's creeping in on your big rocks? Because we all have big things we have to do in our roles. And if we can get that out of the way, then we can start talking about what are your metrics. Okay, our service team, for example, how many people are using the mobile app? How many downloads? How many customers do we have? How many downloads are we using? How many service requests came through the mobile app? We have goals. And listen, I made them up. If you're on my team and I made them up.
That was going to be my next question is how do you come up with the numbers? So
you make them up.
Check. Okay. Yeah.
Make them up.
Right. See if they're attainable. If they're not, or if they are, increase. Right.
Absolutely. So our goal is 10% of all service tickets to come through some sort of digital format by the end of 2025. We're not there. We're a long way from there. Our goal is 50% client adoption with those mobile apps and client portals. And we redid all of this a year ago. So it's a brand new portal as of March of 2024. And we're at, I think our meeting on Friday, 35%. So in a year, we've been able to adopt and increase from 0 to 35%. We're well on the way.
But to your point, this is the point of the goal and of the accountability and of the metric, because if you didn't have any of that, it'd probably be 11%.
Right.
Because people would forget. They get involved in their job. They forgot to ask. They don't want to cross. It's like when I worked at the mall at the Limited and they force you to ask somebody for a credit card.
Credit cards.
It's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing with the adoption of an app or a new piece of technology, things like that in our business.
So Old Navy, the perfect example, right? I went to Old Navy this weekend and we have a credit card in my wife's name and I just didn't have it with me. And I'm like, I'd love to use it. They're like, well, you can apply for your own. So it's not even that my family or my household has a credit card. They want me to have one too. They want 100% saturation for every customer. Or we just want one per household. I don't even care, right? Number of accounts per accounts for us. That's what we wanted. Mm-hmm. So we made up a number. And if it's unattainable, we don't do it. So we look at that side for customer engagement. We look at service ticket time frames. How long does it take us to accomplish a service ticket in total from requested to completed? And then we measure requested to in progress, kind of when did Ciara called and asked for this to happen? How long did it take my team to start working on that? And then how long did it take to go from when we requested it to when it was actually complete? So we measure those pieces and we hold people accountable. They have metrics. This is too long. Why? And not just to kind of demean, but to understand. Everything we do is an understanding. Everything we do has to be tied back to an action. The reason we have the KPI on the mobile app usage is it drives our conversation. Hey, did you try this on the mobile app? How successful were you at trying that out? Did you do this yet? Okay, well, let me get that handled. When we're done, I'm going to send you a link to the app. Play around with it. Let me know how you feel about it. Because if everyone hates it,
right, then why are you spending the money on it?
Let's not spend, not just the money is not the problem there.
It's your own market research.
Right.
It really is with your client base.
It is. And if they're not going to use it, why am I spending? It's the manual effort from our team.
Correct.
To make sure the data is organized and everything is uploaded and there's no duplicates. We got the right people, the right policies, the right documents, all their ID cards are there. Well, we don't send out ID cards. We do. I'll tell you, we do. And it's one of those, if you call for an ID card, we're like, hey, did you try the mobile app? It's actually in there right now. And you go, I didn't. I'm like, you know what? For you, I'm going to send you one. The answer is always, for you, pause, I'll send you one.
Yeah.
Always. You call tomorrow and we're going to say the same thing. The next call could be the exact same thing. For you, I'll send you one.
What if it's the same person? Like for you, no.
Again, for you, it's all in.
I was going to say, I think that, well, let me just ask you the question.
Okay.
And then we'll go there because you've said a couple things that have come to this. What is either your expectation or I guess the expectation of your team, or what do you define as good customer service? Because for you to be so specific about those KPIs from like length of time of response internally versus getting it to the insured, like your client satisfaction idea of like, what is that? Like what is a satisfied McBride insurance agency client?
Sure.
And like, how do you suggest someone defining a roadmap for their client success?
You know, that's really tough to define in most businesses. Mm-hmm. I think in ours, we can define it in two ways. Number one is always going to be the Google review or some sort of review platform. And there are multiple ways to do that, whether you're looking at NPS scores or net promoter scores and that side of thing, or you're just looking at raw Google reviews. So we ask everyone for a Google review. Even if you're leaving our office and you're signing cancellation documents, we automatically send you a Google review. We still get people who give us 5-star reviews. We got one last week. Someone left our office. It was exclusively price, or they were moving. I don't remember the exact scenario, but they're no longer with our office, and they still gave us a 5-star review. Would absolutely recommend.
But that takes guts to do, because you don't control why they're leaving, and they could say it's price, but it could be a bad claims experience or a bad client experience, and you're giving them the tool to say something bad about you.
Yes. And listen, so in my defense, we did that after we had 100+ Google reviews. So I had a little margin if things went sour.
But regardless of the technicality of how you've controlled that, that's fine and that's fair, right? But the concept is that's how confident you are in your client experience.
Yeah.
That's really the lesson.
And we've gone from 100 to we're in excess of 300 Google reviews in 38 months. And we've done it all organically. We haven't paid for a dime. We don't send out special campaigns outside of asking consistently. We ask these questions. So that's number one. And in our business, I think the greatest indicator of great customer service is the renewal. Mm-hmm. When that person stays with your office, that says a lot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's 100% price driven. But when we're exceeding that, we also, in those service meetings, we talk about retention numbers. We look at rolling week. We look at last week, rolling 30-day and rolling 12 months retention numbers. I see them twice a week. And they'll change from Tuesdays when we do our service meeting to Fridays. So I'm always looking at rolling 30 and rolling 12. And when we sit at that 90, 91, 92% retention ratio on rolling 30 and rolling 12, it tells you that it's not just a direct cause, which is typically premium, but the indirect cause of customer satisfaction is that I trust you. I can call and my stuff gets handled. I can call and within 3 hours, my service request has been addressed. It's being worked on. Sometimes it takes longer to get handled because we're waiting on a third party or a carrier or a vendor or a loan officer, something. right? It might take more time to get done, but high level communication and upfront proactive communication, that indirect cause of all of that is your business now stays with the McBride Agency. You're going to give us that review. We're out there. We got a Google review in the last 2 hours from a business that's about 2.5 months with our office. And one of our producers was actually out there doing risk control with them today. Just walking through, this is not a paid service. We don't get an extra dollar for this. It's all a part of what we did. And we promised them we would come out and actually walk the property. One of our producers walked the property with him, showed him a couple light boxes, a couple junction points. Hey, we got covers on those. We need a lockout tag out here. We need labels on this. Go ahead and tape these stairs. He actually bought tape himself, walked it out there. Now he's like, I spent $12, right? And they're definitely going to make our agency more than $12 in a year. But he's out there doing it. And this guy's like, listen, I have never seen an insurance agent do this. They're always available. They'll answer your questions. I've never talked to this dude. Not once have I talked to this dude. Like I was on a call with his office manager to make sure that they understood the coverages and how we were layering things right. Never talked to him, but he like named me in the review. And that says a lot. From an extremely large painting company local to us. I mean, they're an industrial coating company. That's what they do is they paint products for other people. And that's how we try to build that. I think that shows both the direct and indirect cause of customer service is Google reviews are more direct cause. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's price, but they don't always go with price. Listen, if everyone is about price, Mercedes wouldn't exist.
Right. Well, I think that, which is why I think it takes so much guts on your part to send that in those scenarios, is because really, in the absence of value, it's price. Or people will say price because they don't want to deal with they don't want to get somebody fired.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want to, hurt. They don't want to ruin someone's livelihood.
Right.
I'm like that. Right. Like I would say it's not you, it's me to not have to deal with like telling someone, I mean, unless it's like really, really bad customer service. Right. But that idea of giving the space to get the feedback so publicly says a lot about how confident you are in what you've built. So congrats. That's pretty
Thanks.
Cool. It's actually pretty cool.
One of my favorite things is to respond to anything less than a 3-star review. So if it's 3, 2, or 1, I get a direct message. Mm-hmm. If it's 4 or 5, we have a system that will kind of help us respond, and we just choose if that's the right response or not. But I love those 3, 2, and 1s. To be real honest, is it allows us to appear. It allows us to show our vulnerability and our openness. We're not perfect. Trust me. My wife will tell you I'm not perfect, right? Like there's a lot I do wrong. There's a lot I do wrong in this world, in this business. And I wish I could tell you I'm great at really anything, but vulnerability is probably it. And at the end of the day, when I can get the only other agency who's over 100 reviews local to us is 5 stars 100% of the way. Right. Every single review is 5 stars.
Right.
And when you know how long he's been in business and you've got reviews, he's been my agent for 17 years. I'm like, dude's like 24, right? Like how in the world has he been your agent for this long?
Also though, like as a consumer, I don't like to do business with, I mean, I have like 35 5-star reviews, but they're 35.
Right.
It's not 100. It's not 500 5-star reviews. At some point you're just like, no, but the reality is that nobody gets it right 100% of the time.
Right.
So it's okay. I agree with you on those because it gives you guys a response to publicly show that you're open to feedback.
Yeah. And every new customer, every service ticket, every renewal, every document being signed, all get rerouted to that Google review, and it's directly to the review platform. So it's not just here's our Google page, here's our Google My Business. It's actually popping up the Google review on there. So it's saying, hey, give it the star review. So every time we do a service ticket, if we didn't do a good enough job, you're going to have the opportunity to tell us. Yes.
Wow.
Every time.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I went to go buy a new phone this morning, and the gentleman at the end of it, he told me, you're going to get a survey. You're going to get like a survey, through text.
Yeah.
How has my service been?
Oh, he asked you?
He asked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wants to intercept anything bad I would say, right?
Yeah.
But I told him, he said, how has my service been today? Are you comfortable with the process? Do you understand everything? Is there anything I could have done better? And I said to him, no, this was fabulous.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful. I was so impressed with AT&T. And it was like, it's probably been the best experience I've had. at AT&T. But it's because he knew he had to ask me those 3 questions at the end.
Yeah. Verizon, you're out. AT&T's my guy now. I don't even know what to do anymore.
That was so, I was so impressed. It was just, I don't know, maybe because service is so bad nowadays that I was just impressed to be treated fairly. Question though.
Okay.
So new business owner starting, doesn't know where to start with their customer experience. Where does somebody start in either mapping it out, or what should they focus on?
Oh man, I've got a good story on this one. So when I first opened my office under the big national brand, I quoted my mother. And for all of you out there doing business, leave your family alone.
Don't do business.
Yeah, don't leave your family alone. And Mom, if you listen, you're a great customer. We love you. It's just one
Please
of those.
don't leave us a bad Google review.
Don't give us a bad Google
Your
review.
response, hi Mom. Sorry we didn't return your call.
That's the worst. She stops by the office. Like, she lives a block and a half
so
away
funny.
from where my office is. I never see her except the office, really. Like, it's just one of those things. And I'm literally always in a meeting when she stops by. And I feel terrible. Like, she's sending us, like, my team is like, your mom's here. I'm like, I'm literally on a webinar presenting to hundreds of our peers. Tell her I'll call her back later. So mom comes in, and I'm sitting down. I'm actually in her living room, and I'm sitting there with her talking about coverages, and I'm less expensive than her current agent. And she literally looks at me in the face. And it wasn't, I think there was a level of trust that she wasn't quite sure that I was good enough at what I did yet, because I was so new.
Sure.
So when I say don't talk to your family, let your family come to you. I do business with all of my family. If you want to come to us, come to us. I'm never asking you for your business. Because if you don't like it, I don't want things to get weird. Right? If you love it, heck yeah, let's move on. But I looked at her, and she goes, how am I going to tell Chris, who is her current insurance agent? Not, hey son, I want to support you. Thanks for saving me $384 over a year on a $1,400 a year policy. That's a big amount of savings for what she was paying. Mm-hmm. Not, thanks for the savings. Not, I'm so glad to support you, son. Not, I'm proud of you. None of that. How am I going to tell Chris, who is her current agent and had been for years? That's what you have to strive for.
Right?
You have to be so good at your job that your clients' children can open up an office, and they're not worried about going there. They're worried about leaving you and how they're going to tell you, because you've been so great for however long they've been a customer. That story has stuck with me for all these years. Be the person your clients won't leave because their kid opened an agency. That's it.
Yeah.
How can you do that?
It takes like you have to process these things, right?
Yeah.
You have to process these things and these ideas. And what's also reality for you in the business, right? In the industry you're in the market that you serve, right? There's obviously, we're geographically very different. My clients and your clients, very different expectation wise, turnaround times, obviously premium size, those types of things. So it's like geographically, even not just geographically, but even look at it in a geographically close space, customer experiences can be so different.
Yeah. Right?
Like the idea of customer experience to me is wild. It's, I don't know. We talk about this all the time. I'm in a challenging market where doing business with us can be difficult sometimes, depending on the nature of the business. And so I almost have to overcompensate for the product that I sell being a little bit difficult to obtain through us. And so I'm really trying to understand this customer journey of trying to make it better.
So earlier I talked about proactive communication. Right now, one of our biggest carriers is going through a lot. Mm-hmm. We're not getting into specifics, but they're going through a lot. Our job is not to fix that. Our job is not to focus on that. We can't blame. We can't point fingers. What we can do is be proactively communicating to these clients. So once it had been a couple of days and we had any information at all from the carrier, we drafted an email. We sent it out to everyone. I gave FAQs to our team. I said, when people ask these questions, here you go. I also took every document they gave me. I put it in ChatGPT in a custom GPT, and I said, hey, this is the information. Go learn it and help my team respond to text messages, emails, and questions based on what's here in a compliant way. No hallucinations, no making anything up, only use the source documents to help respond. That's it. So when a client calls in and they ask a question, hang on, let me look that information up real quick. Hey, how do I do blank? How are payments working? How are refunds working? What does coverage look like? What if my policy was set to cancel and I haven't made a payment yet? All of the information they gave us, we put in a private GPT, we made it all there, and now my team can go ask those questions. So when we proactively communicate, we have the power to then control the narrative. And there's a big difference in this world. We're both ultimately we're in sales. And there is a seller initiated sale where we approach them. We're selling something, we're approaching you. When I walk into your business, I'm going to approach you differently than when you walk into mine. And that's that buyer initiated sale. Buyer initiated sales, it's really more of a, okay, tell me what's going on. How can I help? Seller initiated sale is, hey, did you realize you're paying X amount more based on your risk control for your work comp? Like sometimes that's pretty easy to get into.
Ringing in the alarm. Yeah.
Right. When it comes, I use, and this is kind of a crude, I'm not going to swear, but it's kind of a crude example. If you walk into my office and we have a meeting and we're done, and I say, Ciara, when you walk outside, there's going to be a purple cow tied up to the fence post. He's going to look at you. He's going to moo twice. He's going to fart. He's going to shake his leg. You're going to just walk by him and he's going to go. If I tell you all of that and you walk outside and there's a purple cow tied to the fence, he moos twice, farts and shakes his leg, and you just drive by and nothing ever happens. You're like, wow, Patrick really knows exactly what's going on. Or I don't say anything. You walk outside, there's a purple cow tied to the fence, moves twice, shakes his leg, farts, and you drive by. Your experience is dramatically different, even though nothing changed. The exact same outcome happened. You still saw first of all, who sees a purple cow? Right. Who can forecast that he's going to shake his leg and move twice? If I can tell you what's going to happen, if I can show you how that process goes, even in your world, where it's so dramatically different, hey, here's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get these documents. You're going to get this link. You're going to fill this out. It's going to come back to me. We're going to get it to the carriers. Here's a timeline, but I'm going to make sure that we communicate through that process. When we get it back, we're going to review. Our reviews look like this. I know that seems like a lot, but here's why we do it. And we can explain it in front of, when we can tell them that we are the expert, not just because we know the coverages or we know our business so well, but we know our journey so well that I can tell you front, back, sideways, this is exactly how it's going to go. It's going to go this way every time. I don't care if you talk to Stephanie or Jose or Tyler or Deontay or Justin or me or anybody else on our team. You can talk to anybody. It's going to be the exact same process. You're going to see that cow outside. He's going to moo twice, and he's purple. Like, seriously. I live in a land of cows and corn. We don't have any purple cows, except for this one in my imaginary story. Yeah.
That is so good and powerful because really the answer to the question is expectations being the foundation of good customer service.
Set the expectations.
And a good client journey.
Yeah.
That's super good. And I don't know. I don't know that we've ever really spoken about client experience on the pod. So I'm excited that it's with you because you're so not only specific, but you're so detailed, when it comes to it. And people don't chew this stuff up the way you do. You know, most people don't, even when they're mapping it out. And I think it's because you are communicative naturally.
Yeah. We know I'm an over emailer. I'm an over communicator. And I'm very verbal. Mm-hmm. You can tell. Like, I'm going to be the one who dominates the conversation if you look at talk time here, I promise.
No, that's fine.
But I want to know those things. If you don't like my emails, just delete it. I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Yeah. But if you want to read them, you have them. And there's never an opportunity for you to say you didn't know. Because how many times, and we'll get personal here, like there have been times where a bill came through, an expense came through, something happened, and it destroyed our finances for the month personally. Mm-hmm. Right? My wife and I have been married for 23 years, for 23 years, and we have been broke. And not just like between jobs broke, like we have been broke. Mm-hmm. And something has devastated us. Something changed, something we didn't know.
Right.
I never, ever want anyone under my watch to ever feel that they didn't know and something just completely destroyed their week. First of all, how did you not know? We sent you 75 communications. Right. Not only did the carrier, and that's their aspect, right? And there's a big contingency of our world that will say, don't communicate because now it's your responsibility, and that opens you up to exposure. So what? I'm going to do the right
That's
thing.
what I'm here for. Right. I agree.
I'm going to over communicate.
I really and it's so weird because I talk to you all the time. Like, we're friends and I talk to you every day, but I don't know that and I know this about you, and I know that I guess I've always heard you speak about it on the claims side. I know that you're super passionate about the claims handling and making sure that, you're fulfilling the promise that your clients, all of it. I understand all that, but this concept of just being, you're so confident in the process that you've built that leave me the review.
Yeah.
Because 9 out of 10, it's going to be positive.
And if it's not, then what we can do is we can reflect.
Right. You take the feedback,
yes.
which is also something that most business owners can't do. Take the feedback.
How many times? So I've said this before, and I know you've heard me say this. Execution without evaluation is just entertainment. We can make a plan. We can put it into force. And that's where 95% of us stop. We'll make the plan. We'll map it out. We know what it looks like. We know how to get the product in. We know how to get the product out. We know how to get the commissions. We know how to make sure our people are paid, but we stop there. If we don't go back and actually look at it and evaluate what actually happened, it's just entertainment. We've just done nothing but pass our time. We went from point A in time to point B in time. A week, 6 months, a year, 6 years, 45 years, right? You and I talked recently in a group chat about an agency that is 40 plus years in this business, and not to diminish them or their size at all, but 45 years in the business, and to have the business they have, and to now be on the precipice of selling this off and looking at it, and the revenues are what people are building in 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a modern agency based on the ability to scale and with capacity and technology. His business won't be worth what he thinks it is because he hasn't adopted or adapted to technology. And maybe that's good for somebody. And there's a lot of meat on that bone, I'm sure. But when you look at it, how do we make sure we can evaluate what we're doing? Because otherwise we just pass time. Right. I'm not here to pass time.
Question for you.
Okay.
So we started this conversation talking about employees, right? And how that's your hardest part of being a business owner, which it is for most of us. Now, you've created this vision and this expectation of service and client journey and experience. Now, how do you get them to buy into it? And that's part one. And two, how do you trust, right? Because it's personal for you. So you've built this.
Well, my name's on the door.
Right. You got to decide McBride. You've built this. And now you got to give it to other people to carry it out. Yeah. How do you, and I know accountability and the meetings play into that stuff, but like how do you get them to buy into the greater vision? Because remember, we're talking to business owners that don't have the support staff or the support system that we have in each other, right? Yeah. And they're going down this road alone and feel like a failure and don't have any help, right? So put yourself in those shoes of like, when you started building this, how did you get people to buy in? To care about it? Because you care about it so much. You're so passionate. It's to your core. How do you get that from your staff, if at all?
I think who you are bleeds. Like you bleed your values. It seeps, right? Vision seeps, right? Love and passion, they seep. And when you have that, whatever you are, whoever you are as a person, it's going to seep out of you in everything you talk about and everything that you do. When I show up at the office, I'm in joggers and a t-shirt today. I'm a little underdressed for my office, but for the most part, I'm relatively casual. Hat backwards, flat bill, something. I might be in a t-shirt or a hoodie. But what I do is different than how I dress. And when you are that person, it's contagious. And when we have those people, listen, if I hire you, I will know in 45 days, probably faster than that, if you're going to fit. You're going to hate what we do or you're going to love it. And if you hate it, great, get out. I love you. I think you're awesome. You're just not a fit for us. And that's okay, right? We know people in our circle that are incredible agency owners, incredible salespeople, and incredible admins that I could not work with or for. Or would not work for me. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Right? Some of my best friends I would not hire. And that's all right. But if you can come in and you can grab that, like, I have a vision, I have a passion, right? We want to provide a modern experience, but we don't want to lose that personal connection. I want to be that person. When I'm in town and people go, your team was incredible, I live for that moment. Oh God, I live for it. I'm at dinner like, oh, I called your team and so was incredible. They knew everything. I love to talk to them. I will smile for an hour off of that one moment, right? But when you can be authentic to who you are, and you can allow the people around you to be that authentic and be that vulnerable with the people around you, that's a big thing. And vulnerability is tough. It's not easy. And you have to be able to finding our group and finding the people that I was able to connect with to show me that I'm not far off. I don't have the revenues I want. My staff is not where I want them to be sometimes. They're incredible people, but there's a training gap sometimes with relatively new staff. When we go down this road, there's always a way to say I'm not good enough. But all I can do is be the best and the most open and most honest version of myself. I will overshare 100% of the time.
So when you say, I'm so happy that you said that. So obviously good people, you're not going to hire someone that's not a good person especially because you're not slinging insurance.
Right.
You're not. This is a far more emotional journey for the client, and for you guys, you're equally as invested. So you're definitely not just shoving policies down people's throats, which obviously I love. But that concept of then, so you're starting a business, you're at the point where you finally are, should I hire? Do I not hire? Am I ready to hire? Everyone says hire before you're ready, but I'm really not ready, but I can't grow, right? So you know those feelings. You feel it with every new hire. It doesn't go away. So it doesn't go away. So you've got those feelings. Then you got to try to onboard them, train them, have them care the way you do. You have to have the journey mapped, all of those things, right? And then instilling in them the care and the sincerity and all of those things while feeling like a failure.
Oh, yeah.
How do we do it?
That's a great question. Therapy?
You're like, can I get some help?
Yeah.
Can I phone a friend?
I don't know. Let me call my therapist. Also my wife. Let me call both of them. They'll both tell you.
So now let me ask rhetorically. I'm going to ask you. Okay. How are you doing it? How do you manage it?
So one, therapy, without question. So I have seen the same therapist for the last 12 years, 11. We went through a really rough time in our life and our marriage. And one of the last ditch efforts for me to say, I'll do it just for you, was to go to a therapist. And we went together, and we went twice together, and suddenly he's like, I think y'all are good together, but maybe we need to work on.
But you got to stay.
Yeah.
He said, together you're good, but I got some time for you.
Listen, McBride, I'm going to talk to you a little bit longer. So we started working on each other individually, and ultimately that was 11 years ago, and our lives have been dramatically different since. And my wife has gone into that field, and she's an incredible therapist, an incredible counselor, and she has such great insight and discernment as a human already. Listen, she could have read your mail 23 years ago when I met her, but now she's licensed and credentialed to do it. It's wild that now she gets to get paid for what she used to do for free on our living room couch. Mm-hmm. But therapy has been a big piece. The second part really would be finding a community of like-minded people. There are other insurance agents in the world that I don't talk to. They don't think the same way I do. They don't have the same goals that I do. They don't have the same objectives that I do. They don't have the same understanding or the same just core essence of this is what I want to do well. I have a list on my phone of what I could just call Patrickisms. Some of them are super appropriate for business. Some of them are not. I think the most recent one I wrote down was, I have the personality of a pigeon. Some people want to feed me at a park. Others want to kick me off a roof. And that's okay, right? Sometimes we have to form an opinion and run with it. Someone's gonna want to feed you in a park. Someone else is gonna want to kick you off a roof for being the same thing. How I deal with it is understanding that I cannot make everybody happy. What I have to be able to do is look at what's important to me and find those big rocks for me. What's important? Legacy is hugely important to me. My dad passed away when I was 6 months old. I had met him, but I don't have any recollection or memory of him. But all I ever hear was how great of a person he was, how charismatic, how handsome, how funny, how charming, what an athlete he was. And it wasn't until I was over 40 that I heard from his high school wrestling coach, and he was a multiple time sectional winner wrestler. There's an award named after him at the Catholic school he went to. And he got third place one year at state. Went on to wrestle in college before he was diagnosed with cancer and all that happened. Actually finished his associate's degree with cancer, like walked the stage with a tumor, brain tumor and everything. You could see him. He could barely walk, had an eye patch, like really beautiful pictures when I go back and look at it, like still like heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. But to watch this and to hear all these stories of how great this guy was. Everyone listening is like, wow, what a hero. What a guy to look up to. No, it's a 40-foot statue in a shadow that I'll never outlive or outshine. But what I can do is I can remember his wrestling coach that said, your dad was not as good as everyone said he was. What do you mean? Coach Darryl, like, what are you talking about? He's like, listen, he was not a winner. I hated to lose. He's like, what are you? I think we talked about this before. I'm not the guy that wants to win. I'm the guy that doesn't want to lose. And I'll win because I don't want to lose to you. So I'll continue pushing. But finding in that realm, I had to find what was important to me to not lose at. Because I cannot lose. I'll lose on how many hours a week I work. I'll lose on, I have a friend who will be at her office 1, 2, 3 in the morning because things are crazy. I will not. I won't. Not ever.
Right. That's not something you want to win.
That is not something I want to win. And that's in her place, in her life, in her business. She has to do that. And I love her for it. And I will never say that's wrong for her. That is wrong for me. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, if it's 5:15, my alarms go on at the office automatically and the cameras come on. And I will do everything humanly possible to be out before those cameras come on. Because when they do, I get a text at 5:16 and you see me walking by a camera all sheepishly because my wife is like, why are you still at the office? Like, none of your business. And,
yeah, right.
That doesn't go well.
Yeah, right.
It's always client call.
Yeah.
But it's one of those pieces, what's important to me. Shutting down at 5:15 because the office shuts down at 5. I don't have to count a cash drawer. We don't take payments in the office, right? It's not something I have to do. But what's important to me? Finding out those things that are important to me and what I can win at. I can win at coming home at 5:15. And I have learned how to put my phone on different do not disturb modes. When I get home or 6 o'clock in the evening, my phone turns off all of my business notifications. My Slack turns off, my email turns off, Facebook Business Manager turns off, anything that's related or tied to the business. I don't get notifications. And matter of fact, the apps disappear. And the same thing when I get to my office. And that's actually geo specific. So when I show up at the office, it actually, the whole home screen changes. The color changes. The only apps are showing are my business apps. And it's basically 4 different apps and my calendar. I can still get to everything. I can still pull up Messenger if I want, right? If you send me a message.
You have to go look for it.
I do. Right. So it limits my notifications and it helps my neurodivergence, like my ADHD brain. It helps me stay focused so I don't get the squirrels.
Well, you also get unplugged. It's a sense of being unplugged and unavailable, right? We're just so available to everyone and everything, and it wears on us. We don't even notice it.
I transitioned away from an Apple Watch in the last few months because I didn't need the notifications on my wrist. But I bought something else that would still give me the health benefits and help me understand those pieces. But it doesn't even tell time. And listen, I would love to know actually what time it is sometimes. I'm like, yep, it's a hair past freckle. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It's one of those pieces. How do we make sure that we're focused in the moment? And how do we be present in that moment? But how do I win at what I can win at? And again, I'm not necessarily the winner, but I won't lose. I won't be the guy who's losing the race of who's present at baseball games, who's present at soccer games, who's present at whatever my kids are doing. I don't care. I'll be there. My daughter's at college. We'll go to your games. We'll go watch you cheer. We'll go be a part of what you're doing. Whatever I can do. Those are the things I'm going to win at 100% of the time.
I love that. And I know that you do that.
90% of the time.
Yeah. But listen, it's important to you.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. That's, to say a lot. To wrap up here, I can't believe it's been so fast already. Like I could talk to you forever.
Yeah. We should try to do it tomorrow at the same time.
What is your best piece of business advice that you can give someone that's maybe struggling?
So I will say, I'm going to give 2. Number 1 is just get started. Whatever you're thinking about, if you have a business idea and you haven't started yet, just start. Start before you're ready. Start before you think you're ready. Learn some things and fail, and then be able to relaunch or restart again in the future, right? Again, experience without evaluation is just entertainment. Just start. I'm a huge advocate of just starting. If you're in business and you have an idea, great. I actually have a note on my phone, and I put this there so people can see that it's been there for a long time, because I haven't edited it in 3 years. And it says the steps to effective problem solving. Number 1 is what's the problem? Number 2 is what are the potential solutions? Number 3 is which one do you want to try first? Number 4 is that's great. When you come with a problem, define the problem. What are the solutions? Which one do you want to try first? Cool. I don't care. It might be unless it's a terrible, unethical, illegal, or immoral, right? Like we're going to go, okay, let's give it a shot. How do you feel like that went? And then we evaluate. How do you feel like that went? Do we need to try the other solution? Or next time we try this. So the other one is it's never as hard as it looks, but it's not as easy as it seems. For those of us who've done this for any amount of time, and I don't care how big your business is, I think time tells us a lot about ourselves. When you're in this for 6 months, we can go, man, look what all I've done. I'm this awesome. Why are these businesses struggling? Well, they're struggling because they have the other side of this. And over time, sometimes it's harder to keep that business. Sometimes it's harder to make those people happy. Sometimes it's harder to continue to grow. Like a blind squirrel can find a nut. Maybe you just started finding nuts and then you're just blind. You didn't know it. Sometimes it's great to get all that hard stuff out of the way first and struggle for a year or two. It's a good thing to learn that, but it's never as hard as it looks. Listen, if I can do this, I promise you, I am not as process-oriented as you think I am. I just have to justify to myself the actions. I'm a very emotional, responsive person. But if I can't look at the spreadsheet and that spreadsheet makes sense, I won't be able to do it for long. I can't sustain that emotion without actual data to back it up in my own head. I'm analytical and emotional. It's a real weird combination, right?
Yeah, that's not common.
I love spreadsheets, right? You should see the drop downs on my onboarding spreadsheet I was just working on.
Oh, God.
Making sure the new guy's got all of his stuff lined up, his headshots are in, documents are set, platforms are on or pending or
Send it to me. No.
I will.
I need it.
100%. But it's that part of, it's never as hard as it looks, but it's not as easy as it seems. The person you see on social media who's killing it, they're struggling. They're balancing their bills just like you are at night. Right. How much can I afford on this new equipment? How much can I afford for this new person? Do I have the money for those cool chairs? I want standing desks in my office. I have one, but I want my sales team to have them so they can get up and get moving and kind of get that blood pumping and not just be slouched down, feet out underneath them in the afternoon. That's a budget. Mm-hmm. Like there's a couple $1,000s there. Do I need to spend it? Or do I just want to spend it because I want standing desks? Right? Everyone's struggling with something. It's not as easy as it looks. But it's good. Again, just get started.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about technology and implementation in your business. There's so much. So I guess we'll do it next year when you come for Key West.
Part 2.
Maybe you'll be my first part 2.
Let's go.
I haven't had anybody twice.
No?
No.
I'll be the first.
Maybe. We'll see how you behave this next year.
No, I'll be the first. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there now.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming to visit me. Thank you for being my friend. I appreciate you. Tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me really LinkedIn, Instagram. I think it's all at Decide McBride. Might be Decide_McBride. I don't remember.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay. So. Those are pretty good. If you're on the business side, LinkedIn is there. I don't do much on Instagram. I do a lot on Facebook. I'm old enough that Facebook is kind of my jam.
Yeah, Facebook's cool. Yeah.
I have an Instagram, but I'm a 40-year-old man and I can't click the discover button because that place is atrocious. And I just try to stay away from that. So yeah, those are social media anywhere. If you can hit us up at the McBrideAgency.com or any variation of that, pretty much anywhere for the business.
Cool.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
This was so much fun.
I have been looking forward to this for a long time.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you. I appreciate it.